Ease in close to the fire. This one don't need shouting. Some stories prefer to be told quiet, the way stone remembers footsteps long after they've passed. The fire's burning steady tonight, not in a hurry, like it knows what's coming. That's how it ought to be when talk turns to the Alamo, because that place doesn't belong to the past alone. It's still standing, still watching, and if you believe the old stories, it's still occupied. The Alamo was never meant to be a legend. It was a mission first. Stone walls, bells, prayers. A place built for peace, not for blood. But Texas has a way of turning quiet places into loud history. In 1836, a handful of men stayed when they could have left. They weren't looking for ghosts. They were looking to buy time. Names you know. Travis, Bowie, Crockett Butt. There were others too. Farmers, tradesmen, boys who'd never fired a shot in anger. When the gates closed and the cannons were set, they made a choice that still echoes. The battle didn't last long. Dawn came hard. When it was over, the walls were silent, but not empty. San Antonio folks started saying things almost right away. Soldiers on patrol heard musket fire when the plaza was still. Guards swore they saw lanterns moving along the walls where no hands held them. Footsteps echoed in the chapel late at night, measured and deliberate, like men still taking their posts. One watchman in the late 1800s claimed he heard a voice call out, "Who goes there?" He answered out of habit. The reply came back the same way it had decades earlier. Wrong password. Old password. One no living man should have known. They say the ghosts don't wander far. They stay where duty anchored them. The barracks. The courtyard. The chapel where prayers once mixed with powder smoke. Some appear solid, dressed in buckskins or uniforms that don't match any modern cut. Others are just shape shadows thicker than darkness ought to be. There's a story about a man in a blue coat seen pacing the walls near dawn, hands clasped behind his back, staring east as if waiting on reinforcements that never came. Folks swear it's Colonel Travis, still checking the horizon, still holding the line. Another tale speaks of a tall figure in buckskin, calm as Sunday morning, sometimes humming a tune. Tour guides will tell you Crockett liked music. Whether that's true or not, more than one night guard has heard a soft melody drift through the courtyard when the air's gone still. And then there are the unnamed ones. Those are the ones people feel more than see. A sudden heaviness, a pressure on the chest. The sense you're standing in someone else's memory. Some visitors break down without knowing why. Others leave feeling watched, like they've walked through a room where a conversation stopped just before they entered. The Alamo doesn't haunt out of anger. That's what old-timers say. When Texas grew and the city wrapped itself around those walls, the ghosts didn't fade. If anything, they got quieter, more patient. Like they're waiting for folks to slow down enough to notice. Construction crews have reported tools moving on their own. Security cameras catch shapes that don't belong to shadows. Radios crackle with voices that never make sense, just static, and the faint sound of marching boots. Every now and then, someone claims to smell gunpowder where there shouldn't be any, or hear a single cannon boom roll across the plaza and vanish before the echo finishes. The thing is, nobody who works the Alamo long-term laughs at these stories. They might not explain them, but they don't dismiss them either. Because places where men die for something bigger than themselves don't empty easy. The Alamo isn't a ghost story meant to scare you. It's a reminder. Those men didn't fade when the sun came up. They stayed in stone, in soil, in silence, stand and watch. So if you ever find yourself there early, before the crowds, when the air's cool and the city hasn't woken, pause a moment and listen. If you hear footsteps behind you, steady and sure, don't be afraid. It just means the watch is still being kept. Well, I can see the fire's a little low and there's no coffee left in my cup, and that's a good place to leave it for the night. Folks, thank you for joining me on Lone Star Stories. Come on back next time and pull up a seat, because there's always another story to be told under the Lone Star.